welcome everybody. Welcome to Gen Inspire, the motivational side of Gen Hope. We've got a great blessing for you. What we're going to do, something different from the interviews that you've seen before. We're going to bring you 10 little videos, 3-4 minute videos discussing a great topic for everybody that can bless everybody. It's all about moving beyond mediocrity. So every day we're going to release for the next 10 days, short little video on the 10 steps Dr. John Andrews believes you need to take to get to that place. So day one, this is day one. We're going to be talking about unnerved by the unknown. So watch this, be blessed, and make sure you implement it before we get to day two. So if we start with chapter 1, and the title is Unnerved by the Unknown. Yeah. Now, every chapter I pulled something out that I wanted to start with, and one of the things that you say is, one of the quotes in there is, one of the things that stops us from breaking through is the fact that we become unnerved by the unknown. So you started off with this chapter. Why did you start off with the unnerved by the unknown?
I think for most people it is the most common issue. Yeah. It's the unknown that often stops people from doing stuff. Yeah. So one of the illustrations used in the book is Chuck Yeager breaking the speed of sound in 1947. Theoretically, we knew that human beings could fly that fast without disintegrating. But because no one had ever done it, every time they got close to it, and instrumentation went off the scale and the plane shook, and the temptation was pull back, because we don't know what's beyond there. Yeager, of course, on that incredible day broke through and reached Mach 1 for the very first time in human history. And he said in his autobiography, the other side of Mach 1, it was as smooth as a baby's bottom. Yeah. But between the smooth and the wild was the unknown. Right. And that's the bit where most people stop. So lots of people would love to explore, but they're a bit afraid what they'll find. It's like the person who walks into the Chinese restaurant and always orders the same thing. Or orders chips. Why have chips in a Chinese restaurant when it's a Chinese restaurant? But what they're doing is they're staying safe. Yeah. They're not venturing into the unknown in something as simple as their culinary tastes. Well, if you ratchet that up, that's where most people live. They would love to go to Australia, but what if they don't like it? They would love to fly on a plane, but what if they panic? They would love to try a new venture, but what if it doesn't work? So it's often the unknown that stops people moving forward.
And do you find, obviously, because when you started with this and you had people in mind who would read your book, relating and saying, I can relate to that, because I know who I want to be, I know what my potential is. Because one of the things that you said is moving from your potential to actually doing it. Yeah. So many people are born with potential. And someone who's watching this video will say, I've got the potential to be the very best. Yeah. But how do I move from the potential to actually being that person? I've got to face the unknown. Yeah. So what recommendations would you give? Is someone who's battling with that fear of whether that be the fear of the unknown or what will happen? What advice would you give to someone to say how you move from point one to be dealing with that aspect? Yeah,
I think for me one of the greatest words of advice I can give you is speak to people who've explored the unknown. So those who have literally pushed through the sound barrier of life, those who have ventured where other people said they should never go, they're the sort of people to talk to, because they're able to say to you, I've been to the other side, and actually you can do it, you can achieve it. They're the sort of people you can talk to. So, if I've ever travelled, I've been to over 35 countries in the world, and if I'm going to a new country and I know a friend who's been there, I won't just Google it. I'll call them and I'll say, what should I expect? What's the food like? What's the weather like? Is there any culturally weird stuff that I need to be geared up for? Is there anything I need to watch out for? So what you're doing is you're talking to someone who has been there before.
That makes sense.
And of course, as a Christian, as a follower of Christ, the ultimate person who's been there before is God himself. Yeah. So God is always calling us to somewhere we haven't been, but he already is.
Knows. Yeah. Because you've got a great saying here, and it says, faith does not ignore the facts, it faces them. Yeah. Faith doesn't run from the price. He knows exactly how much it costs, but still decides to pay. Yeah. So I think the great thing what you're saying is that if you can prepare and say, speak to someone who's done the unknown that you're looking to do.
Yeah.
They can tell you what it consists of. Then you have to ask the question, am I prepared to pay the price?
Yeah.
So I thought that was a great saying in that. But I think to know obviously what the price is, as you're rightly saying, you have to find someone who's been there before.
Yeah.
Which is, in the day of technology now, we can do that fairly easily.
Of course we can.
So we need to so give us an example how you did that in terms of your, so obviously I know you talked about the travel, but whether that be obviously, you know, because you've gone from point A, being a director of a training school, how did you do that? Because that must have been scary, being a director of a training school.
Oh yeah, it was, because you know, you were stepping into a realm that was completely different to everything you'd done before.
Yeah.
It was literally, we were creating a new job in a new environment. I was still leading the church while taking on this new post. So so you were having to learn new skills really quickly. You were having to develop teams really quickly. Yeah. And again, for me, it's a couple of things. It's a sense of confidence in your ability.
Yeah.
So when you're doing something that you know you really do have the gift for, even though it might be a stretch for you, and you know that the direction you're going in is the right one, even though it may be slightly unnerving, I think all of that produces a confidence then to have a go at the new things and the new stuff. But to weigh up that cost is really, really important. So, like an example would be when I did my PhD. You know, my oldest daughter was then 6. My son was 2. A young family, leading the church, doing a lot of other stuff, and people saying there's no way you can do all of that. But I sat down with people who had done it, and I said, is this doable? And they gave me an idea of how much it would cost, literally, physically, but how much it would cost emotionally.
Fantastic.
And then my wife and I sat down and literally asked ourselves the question, are we prepared to pay that price for the next 4 years? Fantastic. And so I set a target that I would have a doctorate by the time my oldest daughter was 10. Yeah. And in the midst of that, we had a third baby as well.
As you do. Let's
we're not busy enough. Let's throw another baby in. So yeah, absolutely.
No, excellent. And I think for anyone, just to close off on this chapter, for anyone who's looking to that first step, is saying find somebody who's done it, who's been there before, who's had success in that area, learn from them, ask them the question, what does it take? Absolutely. Then ask the question, are you prepared to pay that price? Now you know that the unknown is not so much now the unknown. The question now is, are you prepared to pay the price to get there?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Awesome.